shy. The last thing that we need to talk about here is retargeting. Now, there's three things that we need to cover right off the bat. Number one, Broad is doing retargeting for you already. How do we know? Your frequency is more than one. Your frequency can't be more than one if they're not showing that ad to people more than once. And who are they deciding to show that ad to? Probably somebody that responds positively to your messaging. Because remember, every ad makes its own lookalike audience based on who receives that ad. Because to break it down one last time, if your ad gets shown to 1,000 people and 500 people hate it and 500 people love it, your ad is going to be served to people who look like those 500 that loved it, that may have taken actions that Facebook deems as good for their business model. And they've taken a lot of actions on your site. So they're making ads, they're making audiences that appeal to users based on that ad. Every ad is making its own lookalike audience. And they're retargeting within that lookalike audience over and over again. Especially when you have multiple ads in a broad ad set, all those ads are touching people over and over and over again. And you see something, people are talking about first time impression rate. Who cares? I want my ads to retarget that person. I know that if they're not interested, I'm not going to show my content to them. But if they are interested and it takes 6 touch points or a dozen for that person to actually make the purchase, good. Show my ad to that person. Is it better to show my ad to somebody who's likely to actually make a purchase today, or a complete stranger that is completely not in any funnel? What do you think is going to do better for my business today? Then the argument is, well, let's make retargeting audiences. Let's exclude people that have been to our site in 30 days and then target them exclusively. Or have another ad set that's just for people that added to cart in the last week or something like that, and then exclude that from broad. What you're saying is, if I have a broad audience and I'm willing to go that route, or an interest group or lookalike, please don't, but if you are, if somebody clicks on your ad, they are completely ineligible for that broad audience to see them again. Okay, so the retargeting audience is going to get all the sales. But how dumb is that broad going to be? Basically, it's a dating profile where if you don't hook up at hello, then that date is over. Because you can't have more communication because you've already excluded them. How successful do you think that's going to be for your business? More importantly, you're also focusing on people that may or may not have, they didn't say, you didn't hook up at hello, but they might have told you to leave them alone. And you're saying, well, you talked to me, so I'm going to continue just pounding my ads in your feed as much as possible. But if they don't want to see it, you don't care. And to be fair, we've said Facebook shows content to people that want to see it. Well, if there's 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people in this retargeting audience, say it's 10,000 and you're paying to show 5,000, 6,000 people your ads on a daily basis. How many of them do you think have already told you no over and over again? If you don't respect it when somebody tells you no, that's going to create problems. The problem that makes when you're running Facebook ads is that it's going to cost you more and more money to show your ads to people. Not because those people are more expensive, but for two other reasons. Number one, Facebook is seeing you as a bigger liability to the pleasurable experience of Facebook users. And because there's less people for you to show that ad to that are usable, that are good for you, but you want to spend more money, the way that Facebook deals with that is they charge you more to reach those people. Your CPMs go up. Have you noticed your CPMs over $30, $40, $50, $100? That is a direct ramification of you showing your ads over and over again to people that don't want to see them. Now, that might be because they don't want to see your content. That might be because When somebody clicks on your store, they have a really bad experience. And so Facebook's not even going to show your content to somebody because maybe it's the best ad in the world, but your landing page experience is terrible. I had an experience just last week, and I might be working with Dara Denny about some more stuff with a piece of content she made for one of my brands, thanks to Triple Whale. And there was it was for clothing. And she mentioned her size in the video. Our sizing chart didn't actually cover that size. So our ad initially, everybody loved it. Tons of spend, no results. The next day, a little bit less spend. The next day, a little bit less. And the next day, it went down to like $13, $14. Nothing. We noticed that, well, when somebody clicks on this ad, they go to the site. The thing she says, hey, I'm this, that isn't available. That's a terrible user experience. And our CPMs went from like $17, $18 right away to like over 30 or 40 because nobody wanted to see that ad because we were forcing money into an ad that we liked, but the user experience after the click was bad. What happened when we changed that sizing chart was Facebook fed, instead of $14, over $1,800 to those people, showing that ad very often to the same people that had shown it to before. We can tell because of the frequency that it was more than one. People were getting hammered left and right with this ad. And instead of getting no sales, our CPA went from like nearly 200 to less than 50 or 60 in a matter of hours because the user experience changed. And if we had decided to, instead of focus on working at what our ad looks like and our user experience, because Facebook is retargeting people over and over again, if we had instead tried to solve this problem by showing our ad to people that had already abandoned cart, people that had already at least once told us no and to leave them alone, if our response to no, go away, leave me alone, was instead to throw a whole bunch of money at Facebook to bother that person and cause Facebook harm, we would not have had a good result from that ad. But that's what you're doing every single day with every single retargeting audience, especially where you're taking that audience and excluding it from your prospecting. If you have a full funnel approach, what you are doing is saying, did we hook up on the first touch? No? Okay. You've already rejected me once. I'm going to spend extra to make sure that I show you so much that you'll actually love me. That's unhealthy and desperate and really bad for you. Now, retargeting comes around because back in the day, Facebook did used to be a random distribution. It functioned a lot like search and display and PPC platforms, but it doesn't do that anymore. And it hasn't since 2018, since the full-on implementation of the OCPM environment. That's just not how it works ever. What we have to understand here is that the technology that was made 10 years ago, interest groups and retargeting and lookalike audiences that also, are an act-alike audience, but just on Facebook. This tech was used to solve a problem where Facebook wasn't able to show the ad to somebody that wanted to see it. That problem stopped existing probably before you ever ran your first ad. But that thinking is really popular because it makes sense. Oh, they added a cart. I'm just going to say, well, clearly they were interested. I'm just going to keep smashing with ads until they buy. Yeah, that might work. But there are far bigger implications to our business when we do this. One, we're reaching far less people, like far less people. So the actual incremental lift we're getting from the platform is tremendously impaired. And that's not an arguable thing. If you're bringing less people into your funnel and reaching less people, there's just flat out a smaller funnel, which means you are getting lower search volume, lower emails. You're getting lower Amazon traffic. You're getting less and less people that actually care about what you have to say on a daily basis, new individuals into your store. That means it's going to be harder for you to scale. That's just a logical progression of how things work. Now, in addition to that, you're also creating harm because you're forcing your ads onto people that don't want to see you. And there's no way for you to know the difference, but Facebook does. And the ads themselves, making their own audiences, when you get in the way of how the machine works, how the tech was designed, and when you're still using solutions to solve problems that don't exist anymore, you're going to create harm for the long-term upside of your business. So if your CPMs are high, and I'm talking $25, $30, $40 or more, where are you using lookalikes? Where are you using interest groups? Where are you using retargeting? Where are you not prioritizing what happens after somebody clicks on your site? If you're still using lookalikes and interest groups because somebody told you that you should, go and ask that person, how does an interest group work? Most people that I know that suggest it don't have that answer. They say, well, it means that you like something. That's not what it means at all. How many things do you like that you don't talk about on Facebook? You're not in that interest group. The point is, we have to be way more intentional with how we're using the machine. And the point of this today is to tell you how this stuff works so that you can begin to focus on scaling your business instead of making reports that look good while the business struggles to pay its bills. You can focus on interest groups and retargeting audiences and lookalikes and get a better and better ROAS for sales today that you can attribute to Facebook ads. And eventually you won't have a business to run anymore. Unless the business is so good that you can do Facebook poorly and still be successful. And if that's the case, you should just be running broad anyway. I hope this stuff makes sense. If you have any questions about it, please comment below. Let me know what they are. I'd be more than happy to answer. Check out below for the article to describe everything that we've talked about here. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free. You want to know more about the MBA program? Click that link. You can get on my calendar. You can check stuff out. You can take a deep dive through the program. I'll show you everything that you're going to put your money on. I reveal, take you behind the scenes, show you everything. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're still here, smash the like. It would mean the world to me. And until next time, I'll see you on the internet. By the way, I think YouTube thinks you might like some of this stuff. And over there, don't be shy. I'll see you later. Bye.